Now let the beat ride.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of High Chicago, episode 25. Yes,
Oh my
episode 25. It's been a long journey to get to this point,
Yes,
but
sir.
I'm here for it. I appreciate you guys listening, or however you're listening, whether it's via YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We appreciate the love and the support you guys have given us. Let me do a quick intro to see how my cast is doing. As you notice, if you're watching, my boy JV is not on. We've replaced JV with the one and only John Walsh.
Yes, sir.
Mr. John Walsh, who are you and how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm 27. I'm from Crystal Lake. I am, even though from Crystal Lake, I do bleed Chicago blue.
Facts.
So I'm a diehard Chicago fan when it comes to baseball because I have season tickets to both.
Wait.
So
What does that mean?
What?
I go to both games.
He's
Go to
talking
Cubs and
about
Sox.
Cubs and Sox, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Oh.
Diehard Bears fan, diehard Blackhawks fan, Chicago Bulls.
Boo.
Regretfully, a Chicago Bears fan. But
Facts.
that's
Boo.
it is what it is.
But we love interacting with people who support us, right? So John Walsh is a supporter of the show, right? So we decided to have him on. And if anybody out there, Future References, wants to be on the show, right? Just hit us up in the DMs on Instagram or Twitter, Chicago312. Come talk with us, right? John, thanks for hopping on, bro. We appreciate you. Aaron, I see you have a new home.
Yes, sir.
Are you a millionaire now, or what's going on, bro?
I mean, close.
You got a guest
Bitcoin
room?
booming. You feel me?
Yeah, so for those guys who are watching, right, Aaron has upgraded his background from a plain yellow wall to the room of a millionaire.
There you go.
I'm here for it, bro. I appreciate you coming through. MC, how you feeling? You look good today.
Thank you.
Like you tried.
I'm super exhausted, but I was like, you know what? I was supposed to get home at 5, and then it turned to 5:30, and then I didn't get home till almost 6:45, and somehow I still did this. So I'm tired, but I am here, and that's that.
Facts. So let's dive in, right? Because in the group chat, Mary Claire sent a picture of something, and it's something that I think I want to talk about that doesn't get talked about enough. Okay.
Oh shoot! What did I send?
So
She already forgot.
Did you forget the topic?
So in the group chat, right, she posted a picture of somebody from Facebook saying that if God isn't allowed in schools, this shouldn't be either. And the picture shows the LGBTQ plus flag as well as the Black Lives Matter flag, right? Number one, I couldn't disagree with that sentiment more. But before I give you my reasons as to why, I want to start with my boy John Walsh. John Walsh, number one, what do you think they meant by that? And then two, do you disagree or agree with that statement?
So I think the general basis of it is we shouldn't impose on kids, especially it looked like kind of a school background, but more so like middle school. I would say in high school, it comes down to like when it breaks down to high school rather than middle school,
Mhm.
you become your own person.
Okay.
You believe what you believe at that level. Um, when it comes to whether I agree or disagree with it, it's mostly I see both sides on it, but I more so agree with the whole thing. But it's always going to be about comfortability for the kids in the school, 100%.
So
So
you
if they
agree?
want to
You agree? I'm
be
sorry. You agree
yes,
with the statement of it not being allowed in schools? You said, right?
yes.
Why?
Well, again, it has to do with comfortability with the kids in the school. If they want to, if I, I think a better sanction of it should be a club or maybe like an optional class, like teach the LGBTQ thing during um, sexual education in
Okay.
high school, and um, not not entirely shunning it out, like but just incorporating it, but maybe not make it like such in the students' faces, if that makes any sense.
Aaron, you
So
agree?
Yeah, actually, I agree, especially with it kind of depends on what kind of classroom it is.
Okay.
Because if we're talking about just, and he thinks it's a middle school, I think it's actually an elementary school classroom, because I don't know 100% what kind of classroom it was.
Right.
But when kids that young, you don't want to push your ideals on them. You want them to make their own decisions, make their own opinions based off of what they see in the world, rather than, hey, I'm in this class, you have to deal with my ideologies because you're in my classroom. It's the
But
same thing with if it was a Trump Pence flag. Let's say you saw that in the classroom. Are you okay with that being in that classroom? It's the same thing. It is a political message.
I don't. But that's where I disagree, right? Because I don't see how you supporting somebody of the LGBTQ plus community has anything to do with politics. It's a lifestyle. It's and kids in middle school, high school are going through that shit, right? Trying to figure out who they are as a person, right? So to me, that flag is a symbol of support. I'm not saying, hey, just because you guys are in this class, I'm going to talk about this flag every single day, but just know this flag is there to support you if you are going through that struggle, which we all know a lot of people in that age range go through. They struggle with it. Hell, adults struggle with it.
Sometimes
Yeah.
it's hidden struggle.
Right. So
Sometimes you don't know they're struggling.
that to me is a symbol, again, of support. And I don't see what has to do with politics at all. Make it clear. What does that have to do with politics? Because that's what Aaron said.
Actually, I was talking more about the Black Lives Matter flag, but
I don't think that's politics.
So I
but that is
think
100% a political.
I think it's heavily politics with the Black Lives Matter flag. Maybe not so much the LGBTQ, but definitely more controversial than it's been the last couple of years.
But if I can enter and say something, I mean,
Go
I
ahead.
totally don't feel the same way. I I was kind of upset when I saw that post, because when somebody says that strong of a statement, it's kind of like you're bashing both of what those flags stand for and how far we've come, acknowledging how important they are to understand the clarity part, you know? And you're just saying, well, then why can't God be taught in school? Obviously, we've established that every single child is raised under a different religious background. Like, not everyone is a Catholic, not everyone is a Christian. So we are not now, we're talking about something totally different. We're talking about, the same households, the same cultural, ethical backgrounds, and we can't teach, God, because there is not one God, Now, if this person was going to say, teaching religion, then you're just getting a little too in depth. But I just disagree with the statement, because, like Sean was saying, those two flags, they represent pridefulness about realizing that those two things, we've grown so much as a world, and it's just like, I just feel like it's sad seeing somebody try to compare it to one religious view, because it's like, that's not the same thing. We've established that Black Lives Matter is understanding and
Understanding that
and
Black lives matter.
and seeing the pride flag hang and wave. It's like understanding that we understand and we acknowledge the gay community and much more, that this is an existing thing. And that's where the line of nature nurture, like all that stuff, comes into play. But maybe it's just why I'm feeling strong about the statement, because I believe, these are things that occurred naturally, and some people don't feel that way, so that's where I draw the line of, I feel like those things occur naturally on one side, where the other is taught, and you live by that religion, and you either choose to follow it or you don't. Whereas being gay, you can't choose to follow it or not. It's like, it is something inside of you. Being
Exactly.
Black is not something you choose. You're born
Exactly.
Black. So those things matter because they are naturally occurring. Your religion, yeah, it matters, but it's something that you're taught at a young age. Maybe it's taught at an older age, and you decide to follow that religion. So it's not like a one and done, if that makes sense. But that's how I feel for it. And that's why I feel like there's a difference between why those two flags should be able to hang and why the other one or the other thing should not be able to.
Okay. Well,
What if it was a different scenario? Like, what if it was like a Blue Lives Matter flag and a Confederate flag? Because I mean, it's not the same within all the schools around the U.S. for one.
Well, can I
and the
take this one?
thing-
Let me take
I'm
this one real
sorry,
quick.
Sure.
go
Hang
ahead.
on. Give me, so because Blue Lives Matter, that's a statement, right? That cops who chose to become cops lives matter, right? That's their choice. Black
Yeah.
people didn't choose to become black, and we're the ones getting killed, right? So there's no such thing as a blue life. There isn't. It's made up. And then you said a Confederate flag. Confederate flags can be associated with hatred, right? So to me, you can't compare Black Lives Matter to Blue Lives Matter or to a Confederate flag. You just can't. Aaron, go ahead.
I want to double back to Mary Claire's point. Like, I didn't so much agree with the girls' messaging about the religion not being taught. That's just a whole other thing. Like, my main thing was the political statement behind the Black Lives Matter. It's been made political. I don't think the words Black Lives Matter should even be considered political. Don't get me wrong on that. But it has been made into a political statement for whatever reason because of President Orange in the fucking White House, who will be gone in a fucking month. He divided.
Wow, language.
Anyway, but he'll be gone in a month, and he divided those lines so much that it became a political statement. Either you support Black Lives Matter or you don't.
Right, either you support Black people or you don't. So it's a racist statement, to be honest with you.
So,
and the people who don't support it, you have to give me one good reason why you don't support Black Lives Mattering, because that's how I interpret it.
And I mean, I can understand the putting. I mean, I can understand it. Just the girl's comment aside, I could understand why it's conflicting for parents to see flags like that in a classroom. I understand because it's now provoking your child to ask more questions. But I mean, come on, people. We have to be real. If you are uncomfortable with your own flesh and blood asking you questions, even at a young age, then are you fully committed to being a parent? Because sometimes kids ask questions and you don't even know how it was prompted. They come home from school. You don't know if they saw it at school on the way home. They probably saw it on your phone over your shoulder. Like, you have no idea. But things prompt children, and children have such creative, fluid like minds that it's supposed to keep running so that it can help them build those little file folders, those schemas, and those different things that help them become the person they are later on in life. So I mean, I just feel I'm one of those people, early exposure, what harm can it do other than teach a lesson, whether it be good or bad. But I mean, I do understand the fear in people who are maybe listening and they're like, oh my God, if my 3-year-old, saw a pride flag, how do I explain that to them? I understand that, but I don't understand why one could be seen more acceptable than the other in that tone.
And for me, it's teaching tolerance, right? We live in such a shitty country, right, that we don't tolerate one another for being different. We just don't, right?
Mhm.
So if we're taught tolerance and acceptance at even a young age, right, then I just think in general the world should be a better fucking place, right?
And I mean, that's what we talk about all the time, like children are the key to a better world. Start with the kids, because
Right.
they're the ones who are going to grow older and make those movements, become president, make the changes. By the time we're adults, the most we can probably do is, we can have a tone, we can set it, but we're probably better off having a kid and making that kid, be the voice or encourage them to be the person to make the world better. But that's just because then they have more, years, more angles, more growth on us.
And John Walsh, what do you think do you have a problem with kids in school, right, learning about the history of the LGBTQ community, learning about the struggles that they've gone through? Like, do you have a problem with them being taught that in the classroom? Because they're not being taught, hey, guys, go be gay, right? Hey, guys, go be lesbian. They're not being taught that, but being taught the history of it and why you should tolerate it and accept it is how I'm viewing this. Would you have an issue with that?
No, I don't have any issue with that. I would say it would take a good couple of years before that actually gets like initiated into the actual school system.
Of course.
But in the meantime, they could make that into a club or an organization at the school, so that kind of history could be taught about that. Short term, it's going to take a good couple of years before that becomes like a regular curriculum for all the schools.
But if you had a kid right now, would you want your kid to be in that class?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Okay. Aaron?
I mean, just so they can, just so they can learn about the history, and it's important. I mean, we're living through it every day. Every day is history, especially now with everything going on. So I mean, these days are going to be remembered for a long, long time. So I think it's very important that it also has to matter when the kid's ready to understand it. Like it's different from a 5-year-old perspective rather than a 10-year-old. So,
Right.
I agree, but at what
All
age
the
do you think parents who are racist teach their kids about racism or being a racist, I should say, right? At what age do you think that shit starts?
Role modeling
Not
is
10.
everything.
Not 10.
No, from the
Role
womb.
modeling is everything.
Right. So we're accepting of that parenting skill, right? We should accept it
I
as
mean,
Americans.
I'm not accepting of it,
But as a society in general, we're okay with that. With parents teaching their kids whatever the fuck they want at whatever age they want, but we can't teach them tolerance at a young age in a classroom.
And you know what bothers me even more about that statement, Sean, is sometimes you see things in public and it involves like a parent and a young child and something really inappropriate or something that's like maybe it's a parent doing or saying something racist and they have like their young child there with them and it's frowned upon for you to act on that because you are not their parent and it's not your child and you shouldn't get involved. But I am curious to see like what is that going to be like a few years from now, like with how far Black Lives Matter has come, with how far the Pride community has come. When will we say enough is enough and we start publicly showing those things? Because I mean, I can't stop thinking about stuff like that. I mean, you see things in media that happen all the time, like crazy videos people take of, some lady at a Starbucks or somebody in a Walmart who has an outburst and then somebody tries to get involved. I'm waiting for that video and I'm waiting for the world's opinion because
And people seem to forget, right, that Black Lives Matter, the hashtag started from Trayvon Martin's murder, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why the hashtag has continued to this day is because innocent Black people continue to get murdered, right? So if at a young age we're taught the importance of Black history, really dive into Black history, right, then maybe we wouldn't be treated as less than to this day. Right. So that's why I think that both flags are equally important to be in the classroom. Number one, you shouldn't associate those things with God per se, right? Because that was the person's comparison. But also, I actually don't have a problem with religion being taught in school, not faith, but religion itself, right? There are so many different religions out there that you can learn and know about, right? That way you can understand people at a different level and again, tolerate different religions or be more educated on them. I sent you guys all a quiz to take about religions, right?
Oh boy, I can't wait to hear.
Well, yeah, so it was about different religions, right? 15 questions. John Walsh, you got 12 out of 15 right. Aaron, you got 11 out of 15 right. Mary Claire, you got 5 out of 15 right.
I got a whopping 5.
And I got a whopping 4 out of 15 right.
Wait, what did Aaron get?
11.
I missed the question that I second guessed too.
But the reason why I sent you guys that, because I just want to see how much knowledge you had just in the moment about different religions. Was there anything wrong with learning about different religions? No. But could you imagine how much more we'd understand them if we were just taught that at a younger age? Again, don't teach me the faith, but give me the history and the knowledge to know different religions.
What you're asking for is essentially a theology class, which is what I took my freshman year of college. They don't offer stuff like that.
But what's wrong with that? What's wrong with learning that earlier in college?
There's nothing wrong, but they don't offer it. That's the problem.
But you want to know why? Because when I was in college, everyone's fearful moment was, oh my God, if I'm going to have to take theology, I'm going to fail it. Because they do not make them warm, welcoming courses. And if you want to sit here and tell me it is a warm, welcoming course, we can fight. We can fight.
It was simple. In my opinion.
Says the guy who got 11 out of 15.
Right.
I don't know.
I think if you took that same class, you would have also got the same score. Maybe even higher.
I don't think so.
I mean, I didn't take that, but I got a 12, but I'm not bragging. So.
I just don't think so because I took a course that was like, it wasn't called theology. I'm trying to remember what it's called. And you were forced to learn like snippets of different religions.
You have a problem with that?
Huh?
You have a problem with learning?
No, I have a problem with the fact that people think you can learn like these little snippets and then understand a whole nother person's like religion. It's like, hell no, it's so much to learn. Like, You know how long it took me to learn like little things about being a Catholic? I went to catechism school from kindergarten through 8th grade, and I still don't know a lot because it's about the environment and how you're taught, and I'm a firm believer in that. And it was just one of those things where it's like it's either thrown like down your throat,
Mhm.
or you have to want to go get the information yourself. I just don't feel like it's one of those subjects where it's an all-inclusive, warm, welcoming subject, because if it was, I feel like that should be a required course. You should be required to learn about maybe like one or two other religious backgrounds or something. But never once
Just
in
to be
my life.
educated. Yeah, just to be educated.
What?
I said, yes, you should learn about that just to be educated, not again to force a certain belief or faith on you.
Right, but that's the problem I have though. Like in a lot of the theology courses that I've come across, I just feel like, I don't even know how to explain this myself, but I just feel like it's thrown at you a certain way where it's forceful, and it's not like, hey, come explore this different religious belief, you
So,
know?
so the class I
It's like
took,
you've gotta be belonging to it in order to learn.
Yeah,
no.
so that's not what I'm referring to. That's kind of
Yeah.
a dumb concept. Go
Yeah,
ahead, Aaron.
so the class I took, it was a Theology 101 where they basically went through a number of religions, but basically they focused on most of the Western religions. Your Judaism, Christianity, um, Protestantism, I
Okay.
guess, Catholicism, and a couple Eastern ones. They sort of went over real quickly because essentially where we live, we wouldn't see majority of those religions anyway.
Okay.
Stuff like Sikhism, Confucianism, um, there were other ones, but it
Sure.
was a lot. But they basically focused on the mainstays: your Judaism, Islam, Christianity, and Catholicism.
But that's shit
It's-
that you deal with every day in life.
you
Those
would
are
see
people
those
you come
people.
across every day in life, right? So teach me that at a young age. I don't need to know about fucking chemistry. I don't. I
I
took
mean,
chemistry class.
hey, you
Not
might,
me, not me
You
Sean.
personally.
might.
No, not me
Like
personally.
Sean, let's
right?
say you go into the kitchen, you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and toss this ice into this hot oil.
This hot
Boom.
fire, grease fire.
Boom. You needed chemistry at that moment, didn't you?
No, because
Oh
I'm not stupid
man.
enough to like do that, and I can learn
I
shit when I'm 3
mean,
years old. But the point that I'm saying is that shit like geometry, I didn't need personally, right? Teach me things that are real life inducing. Teach me those things, right? Teach me how to be an entrepreneur. Teach me fucking about religion. Teach me about different quality of people. Teach me about Black Lives Matter. Teach me all that shit. Fuck everything else, bro.
You basically want to skip all of the shit that you're never gonna use in life.
I mean, but to
And
Sean's
just
point, like
no, I
a
get what
lot
he's
of
saying.
stuff that we learn at a young age is like so repetitive. Like, can I tell you how many times I dissected a frog in a biology course that I took like maybe 6 times?
How many
Like,
times
how
did you do
many
that
times did I
post
really
that?
need to do that?
Zero.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Zero,
I
right?
mean, it's not stupid. It's full of knowledge,
And
but don't you think somebody who's done it before maybe should have the choice? Like, okay, do you want to learn something different? There's another opportunity arising. You're getting older. You should be able to, choose that path a little better than just signing up for what's required every single year. That's not really signing up for anything.
John Walsh, should religion be taught in school?
I was going to say that maybe as either a prerequisite for beginning of high school or beginning of college, a theology class, something something along those lines.
I think it would make sense in high school. It will make a lot of sense in high school.
Yeah, take 4 years of that and literally learn everything,
Yeah.
right? So I guess for me, ultimately, I just want the world to be a better place, right? And I think that if we're taught things that actually matter, that are actually important, um, we could all turn out to be a lot fucking better. Make sense?
That's true.
Absolutely.
Facts.
It's fair though.
So I would love to hear from you guys as far as this topic goes. It's a very in-depth topic. We could keep going on this. I'd love to know where you guys stand on religion being taught in schools, what flags should be allowed to be in school, which ones shouldn't, what age should they be taught any of this shit, if at all, at school, right? So we're going to go ahead and wrap things up with our final thoughts. As the guest, John Walsh, we'll start with you.
Ooh.
Sure. I think I think we did touch base on a lot of good things tonight. I think the overall thing is that people just need to be generally accepted of what they believe in and who they are growing up, and that, I mean, overall we should generally know to love each other. You know, no matter what hardships we go through and stuff like that.
Facts.
So,
Well said. Aaron,
Go Pack, go.
shut the fuck up, bro.
Because I see, I've been waiting to say that because Mr. Walsh is a fan of the Bears.
Aaron, the first couple episodes, you always had something really like pronounced, serious in practice, and then today
we're deep into the NFL season, and my team's in first place.
Okay, you won't win the Super Bowl, so it's fine.
Okay,
Chiefs
I'm
Nation,
gonna
baby.
revisit. I'm gonna email you specifically when we do. All right.
email. There's. Oh my goodness.
Chiefs Nation's gonna back to back.
I'll accept that at this point. I'll fuck with Patrick Mahomes. Aaron, your final thoughts were shit. Mary Claire, what you got?
Thanks.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna go a different route. I'm gonna go with, Black Lives Matter. And, when it comes to talking about the Pride community, it's just another one of those things where maybe you don't know enough. Maybe it relates to religion in the realm that you don't know about that item, so you're judging it. So maybe you should just do a little bit more research, do some more digging, get uncomfortable. I'm all about, getting uncomfortable and learning something different. So maybe if you're watching this episode and you're cringing a little bit, maybe you should give it the benefit of the doubt and at least do your research before you make a final judgment about something, especially if you're in your 20 or 30 somethings, even older. It's never too late to learn something. And, I know we talk about, being born into racism, Sean. I know we were talking about that earlier, but even if you did find yourself in that situation, maybe branch out. Try to not fall into that being your excuse. That's all I got to say.
I thought you had a bombshell to drop.
Oh.
She does. I got a confession.
Where's that bombshell confession?
I mean, I was just going to sit here and confess to the fact that I've now got this atrocious habit.
Okay.
Is
Tell
it
us more.
Where, and maybe somebody else out there that's watching or listening
meth now?
has the same thing that they. What?
We're just trying to guess your habit.
Did you just say meth?
Yes.
That's what Sean said.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm too pretty to do nasty drugs. Anyway, I found myself 2 nights in a row where I would leave like a half glass of wine and come home from work the next day, and I'd be like, start drinking it. I did the same thing with a beer. And, I just felt a little guilty about it today when I came home, and I was like, you know what? I don't care for the 3rd day in a row. I just filled that glass right back up.
I fully support that shit. Fuck it. You only live once. You're young. I'm here for it.
I need to talk about
Can I drop a bombshell of my own?
Oh shit, John Walsh has a bombshell. What's up, bro?
Oh,
makes me feel better.
That's what's up. Got my nice Christmas Taco Bell roll going on.
Are you a Taco Bell fanatic?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, you should have worn that shit the entire time,
favorite?
bro.
I'm not a sauce person. I'm more. I keep it mild.
Oh my
Just like my
God,
life.
we cannot be friends anymore, John.
Oof.
My final thought is, I really love the name John Walsh.
Clearly.
General, first and last. No, but all bullshit aside, I want to give a shout out to my homie Malik, right? So Malik started his own fitness apparel company. It's called City of Gains. He's a Chicago based. So if you guys want some quality fitness apparel, keep your arms nice and tight, snug. He's got a website called officialcityofgains.com. You can follow him on Instagram at officialcogz. I'll drop that link on the page and in the description. Malik, you're my boy.
Does Malik have some nice crop tops that I can rock when I'm showing my abs?
I'm sure he does. If not, he'll get some custom made for you.
Hey.
I'll hit him up. Aaron, bring us home, kid.
All right. If you guys enjoyed this topic, please let us know down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at HiChicago312. And until next time, peace.
Peace.